Thank you, Jane. Good evening and welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. A Yorkshire drug support service says it's made a significant step towards eliminating hepatitis C.
It's just a quick 2-minute test that could basically change their life really if they have come back as Hep C positive, because the treatment these days is just so good.
We'll find out how the new treatment is already changing lives. Also tonight. Doubts over the future of the World Snooker Championship at the Crucible in Sheffield. Its contract runs out in 2 years. 2 years ago, this woman had to learn how to walk again after back surgery. Now she's running the London Marathon.
This cathedral has been a place of worship for 1,400 years, but tonight, York Minster, it's going metal.
And it's going to warm up over the coming days with plenty of sunshine on the way. I'll have more details towards the end of the programme.
Hello and thank you for joining us this Friday evening. A drug and alcohol support service in West Yorkshire says it's reached a significant step towards eliminating hepatitis C. The virus is common amongst drug users and causes severe liver damage, which can be life-threatening. It's spread by direct contact with an infected person's blood, and in the UK, most Hep C infections occur in people who inject drugs. According to the government, just under 56,000 people over the age of 16 were estimated to be living with chronic hepatitis C in 2023. That's a fall of 56% over 8 years. Forward Leads say they've achieved micro-elimination of the disease in the city, meaning they've identified, treated and cured those people who are most at risk. Phil Bodmer reports.
I sniffed glue for years. Cracking heroin, amphetamines, everything that I could get my hands on.
Tommy was a regular user of drugs for over 40 years, but a groundbreaking new treatment has given him a second chance at life.
End of the day, you need your liver, don't you? It's made me a lot more healthier.
How long had you been living with Hep C?
Since 1997, 1998. For injecting, you know, people think you have to inject in order to catch hepatitis C, but you don't.
Treating Hep C used to involve a complex series of injections, producing unwanted side effects which made some patients reluctant to take it up. But now a Leeds-based alcohol and drug support service has reached a critical milestone by testing and treating patients in a process referred to as micro-elimination.
The historic treatment was a difficult treatment. It was a long treatment, it was injections, it had significant side effects and a lower success rate. The advanced treatment now that the nurses provide is a course of tablets. The side effects are minimal and it cures people.
But left untreated, the condition can prove fatal.
The moment your liver starts to struggle and can't cope anymore with the constant attack of the hepatitis C virus on it, that it starts to fail, and when it starts to fail that can be quite catastrophic for the majority of patients, either needing transplant or treatment for cancer. But for many, back in the day before we had the excellent treatment we have today, it would be death.
It's just a little jab.
A simple blood sample can be the difference between life and death, with swift diagnosis and prompt treatment.
It can save their life. It's just a quick 2-minute test that could basically change their life really if they have come back as Hep C positive, because the treatment these days is just so good.
I live each day with the understanding of if I can make at least one person smile, my job's done. And that's it. It's, you know what I mean? It's the old me and the new me are two completely different people.
By turning his back on a drug-taking past, Tommy is encouraging others to do the same. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North.
Some more news from around the region now, and a driver who hit and killed a woman standing at a bus stop in Leeds has been jailed. 27-year-old Ramisa Ahmed was speeding and using a mobile phone when she struck Athira in Al Kuma at a bus stop near Stanningley Road in 2023. A 40-year-old man has also been seriously injured in the crash. At Leeds Crown Court today, Ahmed was sentenced to 9 years in prison for causing death by dangerous driving. A third person has been arrested over the death of a man in Shipley earlier this week. Police were called to Stead Street at around 9:30 on Tuesday morning, and a 43-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene. A 68-year-old man was arrested last night on suspicion of murder. 2 other people have been released on bail. Emergency crews spent this morning dealing with a large fire in the centre of Leeds. It broke out at around 4:30 at a 2-storey commercial building on Shannon Street, which is near to the A64 York Road. No injuries were reported, but there were long delays on the roads in the area. York Hospital has closed most of its wards after an outbreak of norovirus. It means most patients won't be allowed any visitors, with a few exceptions, including children's and maternity wards. The virus is also known as the winter vomiting bug and has the potential to spread quickly. Now you're watching Friday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. With just 2 matches left in the League 2 promotion race, we'll look ahead to the weekend's action. Now, the funeral of Pope Francis takes place in Rome tomorrow. He's been remembered as a great leader who promoted links between faiths and someone who welcomed people of all backgrounds into the church. Today, people from all faiths across Yorkshire have been reflecting on his life.
My name is Qari Asim. I am Senior Imam at Makkah Mosque in Leeds. I was privileged to meet Pope Francis in Vatican City. We talked about some of the common challenges facing faith leadership. I was there when he washed the feet of a Muslim refugee, and that was really touching. And this is what Pope Francis will be remembered for, that his service to humanity.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Saffer. I'm the president of the Leeds Jewish Representative Council. He was a man of peace who said what he thought and thought what he said. And as a community, we were very, very sad to hear of his passing. He was very involved in interfaith work. He visited the synagogue in Rome and led many interfaith initiatives.
My name's Tony Lester and I'm a parish priest in York, and a part of my ministry is to coordinate the outreach by the Diocese of Middlesbrough to the LGBTQ+ community. Prior to Pope Francis, people often felt excluded from church, excluded from worship, second-class citizens, and his unique gift, I think, has been to be able to see the person first. And so our ministry here is simply to extend a welcome without any conditions to members of the LGBTQ+ community.
We had a champion who was talking for everybody, fighting for everybody.
Hello, I am Simi Sekon, solicitor and spokesman of the Yorkshire Sikh Forum.
My name is Dr. Manoj Joshi, MBEDL. I'm from the Hindu community.
He asked for his casket to be laid at a lower level to remind us all that we all stand on equal ground. The founder of the Sikh faith, he explained service above self and equality amongst all. So this resonates with the Sikh community.
He transcended all differences and worked diligently in the pursuit of unity, compassion, and working together in peace and harmony across the world, regardless of race, religion, geographic divisions, anything like that. He was the epitome of the symbol of unity across the world.
And the funeral of Pope Francis will be covered live across the BBC tomorrow from 8:30 in the morning, including here on BBC One and the BBC iPlayer. Now, the World Snooker Championship will leave the Crucible unless its long-standing home is either revamped or replaced entirely. That's what a promoter in the sport has said today. It's caused a lot of concern amongst fans who cram into the 980-seater theatre every year. No decision has been made about where the tournament will take place beyond its current contract, which ends in 2027. Ollie Constable has more.
It's the pinnacle of the sport, the World Snooker Championship held at the Crucible every year since 1977. Almost 1,000 people can watch games live inside, with millions more on TV around the world. The question about whether it will stay in Sheffield is asked a lot, but now some big names in the game have put it firmly in the spotlight once again.
The financials have to be taken into consideration. The facilities where the Crucible is no longer fit for purpose. That's the key issue. The players, like all sportsmen and women, want to play for bigger and bigger prize money.
I think that World Snooker and my dad have been unbelievably loyal to the game and to the venue and to the dream of the Crucible. If there's a way to keep it in Sheffield, of course, that's the preferred option.
Promoters Matchroom Sport largely controls professional snooker. They want either the Crucible revamped or a new venue entirely, ahead of the current contract running out in 2 years' time. What they've said has worried fans of the game here today.
I would hate to see it move from here because I've been here 3 years now, and I just think it's a really friendly, atmospheric place.
I think it should stop here really, just because of the history of it.
You can touch the players, so it's it's fantastic.
A lot of players now that are here, you know, there's Dings Academy here, you know, and there's a lot of players that stay, there's a lot of academy, and we've seen some great matches here, great finals. Not to say it won't happen elsewhere, but I don't think you get the same atmosphere.
Former Sports Minister Richard Cabourn agrees that the game should stay in Sheffield, using venues such as the brand new Cannon Medical Arena. It's just 2 miles away from the Crucible, but could have a capacity 4 or 5 times bigger.
If Barry really wants to move down that, we can give him audiences, we can give him capacity, if that's what he wants. Do they want big audiences where you actually get more money in? Or do they want an iconic centre like that? I mean, would you go and rip out Wimbledon, for example? How important is the venue as well? How is it synonymous with their game?
Richard Cabourn ending that report from Ollie Constable. Well, negotiations about where the championships will be held beyond 2027 are ongoing between the Council, World Snooker and the venue owners. They were all tight-lipped today ahead of a meeting next week, but did say there had been constructive conversations over the past year. Now, you may not have heard of William Plummer, but his untimely death 100 years ago heralded a new era for policing in Sheffield. 8,000 people attended his funeral after he was murdered in the street for standing up to violent gangsters terrorising the city. Kathy Killick has the story.
It was 100 years ago this weekend that an infamous murder on this corner in Attercliffe so outraged the people of Sheffield it changed the city forever. Vicious gangs were running amok, but the murder here in 1925 by a group of gang members attacking one respected citizen proved a final straw. The people decided enough was enough. The victim was William Plummer, a family man and former soldier who was just 32. He confronted the group and asked for a fair fight one-on-one, but was brutally killed. Historian John Stocks has written a book about what happened.
Thousands of people marched through the streets of Sheffield in open defiance of the gangs and in response to being finally fed up of the years of intimidation. And there was a demand for more robust policing, and there was a creation around this time of the Flying Squad, which was basically an attempt to take the war to the gangs and for the police to get their retaliation in first.
A foundry yards from the spot where Plummer died heard of his bravery and made a memorial to him. It shows him fists raised, the gang members represented as pawn-like figures. It's become the focus for events this weekend to remember William Plummer. His grandson Alex has travelled from Canada to be here.
At the time it must have been pretty horrific, you know, for all the families involved. And but anyway, I think it's great what they're doing here today, you know, just to acknowledge the fact, you know, what happened. So I'm so glad to be here.
He picks out the bullies, he faces up to the bullies. He doesn't do the easy thing, he does the right thing. and I think he sets us a good example, so he's still relevant.
Policing changed as a result of the murder, so William Plummer didn't die in vain. But it reminds us the fight against violence goes on, 100 years after one man's brave stand. Cathy Gillick, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
The Yorkshire Wildlife Park has announced the sad news that 2 of their lions have died. This is the moment we captured the lions rescued from Romania arriving at the park back in 2010. Carla and Crystal were put to sleep due to deteriorating health. A spokesperson for the park said they'd both be deeply missed beautiful animals. Now on to football, and 3 teams are to go up automatically from League 2, and with just 2 matches left we have both Doncaster Rovers and Bradford City at the front of the race. They'll meet each other tomorrow lunchtime. Johnny Reid looks ahead to a weekend where there's everything to play for.
Unbeaten since early March, and now on the back of 2 Easter 3-0 wins, just one more victory will secure Doncaster Rovers automatic promotion.
I think it would mean everything. It would mean everything, but there's no point of thinking about that yet. And until we actually get, until we get there, that's really what our focus lies. We have to approach this game knowing it's going to be a difficult game against a good Bradford team.
For Bradford, defeat tomorrow will pause their hopes of a top 3 finish until next week, but a Bantams win could secure automatic promotion for both Bradford and even a defeated Doncaster, if later in the day Walsall go on to lose their match.
I'm glad the fans are excited. They've been excited for a long time, I feel, which is brilliant, you know what I mean? And that's, we just have to justify it, and it has to be tangible, as we say, and ultimate success, and that's what both teams are chasing.
A draw suits Doncaster more, in that Rovers would be guaranteed automatic promotion on the spot if also Walsall then lose or even draw later in the day. For Bradford City, they cannot secure automatic promotion at Doncaster with a mere draw. Whatever happens elsewhere, City's automatic promotion hopes would then depend on their final match against Fleetwood next Saturday on May the 3rd. So we could be here all again this time next week, including for Chesterfield. The Spireites are still within reach of a possible playoff place with 2 matches left. They're at home to Morecambe tomorrow. Johnny Reid, BBC Look North.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see. Now, a woman from Northallerton is running the London Marathon on Sunday after surgery left her having to learn to walk again just 2 years ago. There she is. Emma Watt needed an operation to remove a tumour from her back, and she's now had the all clear from doctors and is running the marathon to raise money for the charity that supported her, the Spinal Injuries Association. Nathan Turvey has been to meet her.
Hello, I'm Emma Watt. I live in Northallerton and I'm running the London Marathon on Sunday.
It's a miracle Emma can even walk, let alone run around this park in Northallerton. The 31-year-old was diagnosed with a spinal cord tumour 2 years ago and underwent emergency surgery to remove it.
I spent about 2 months in hospital. I had daily physio, occupational therapists and lots of kind of amazing doctors and nurses who taught me how to kind of shower myself and get myself dressed. I've gone from being in a wheelchair to having 2 crutches to having 1 crutches to now walking unaided. And they actually say that it takes about 3 years to really know the recovery from a spinal injury, and obviously I'm not quite 2 years out, and there will still be some kind of more milestones that I meet throughout the next kind of year or so.
Every step of Emma's recovery has been gruelling, but she's now been spurred on by the backing of some big-name Yorkshire Olympians.
Alistair Brownlee has actually sponsored me, and he has put my story onto his inspirational stories on his website. Mark Scott, who's a friend that I went to school with, has kind of been in touch with me. I'm very proud of myself, and I do recognise the kind of achievements that I've made from kind of the surgery to now and the determination that it's taken, but seeing it recognised by other sports people has been quite amazing.
What do your family and friends make of your amazing recovery?
I think they're very proud of me. I think at the time it was a real shock for them. I've always been very active, so for them to see me not being able to walk and being kind of bedbound for quite a long time was quite difficult.
Well, it was almost a feeling of complete desperation and devastation to see your daughter, in bed, unable really to move from the, waist down, and then to an absolute feeling of elation where she's now able to do a London Marathon. It's almost unbelievable.
So, how will it feel when she crosses the finish line in London?
I think it'll be incredibly emotional. I think for lots of different reasons. I think my own personal journey. I'll never forget the first time my little boy came to see me in hospital, and he was sat on my chair when I was in my wheelchair, and he said to me, "Mummy, when you can walk again, I'm going to say, woohoo, well done, Mummy." And that was kind of the motivation that I needed to hear him say that to me.
Nathan Turvey, BBC Look North, Northallerton.
Now, churches have long been at the heart of our communities, from the tiny village chapel to the grandeur of York Minster. They all bring people together, often through music like this familiar sound of the church organ. But in York, they're ditching the traditional and trying something new. Ouch, no, that's not a glitch in our system, because tonight at the Minster, they're swapping the pulpit for a mosh pit. Beth Parsons can explain more.
York Minster has been a place of worship for more than 1,400 years. It's hosted a couple of royal weddings and it's top of the list for visitors to the city. But tonight things are looking a little bit different. A plague of angels has arrived and the Minster is going metal. It is a sold-out gig tonight. 1,400 people are lucky enough to get their hands on tickets. Plague of Angels have arrived at the York Minster for a concert that's called Two Worlds Collide. So let's talk to those two worlds. We'll start first with Canon Tim. This is quite an unusual event to have in the Minster, isn't it?
It could be said to be like that, but we're absolutely thrilled and excited. It's part of the mission of this Minster to welcome people from right across society in. And so this seemed like a wonderful opportunity to not only celebrate the wonderful skills of these musicians, and they are extraordinary, but also to welcome in a group of people that maybe would never think of coming into this extraordinary building.
Brilliant. Let's move on then. Someone who maybe is between those two worlds. David, also surname Pipe. That's the best surname for someone playing the organ. You used to work here at the Minster, so you're familiar with this organ. Metal in the Minster, is that new for you?
It's a first for me, yeah. I'm used to playing this organ. It's been restored since I worked here. Yeah, I've never played metal in here, so it's a nice treat.
How different is it? Are you playing sort of in a similar fashion, or what is the difference for you?
It's a different kind of music. I'm really a big synthesizer, so I'm kind of the world's biggest synthesizer in this gig. So replace your electronic keyboard, put me on this pipe organ, and that's my role in the band, really.
Well, thank you very much. And let's talk, last but by no means least, Mark, you are the lead guitarist for Plague of Angels. How does this compare to other venues?
You can't compare. This is one of the finest cathedrals in the UK and in the world, and what an honour to be the first metal band to ever play in a Grade 1 listed cathedral, and one as beautiful as that, and to bring the king of instruments, the pipe organ, which is just the most stunning instrument. A lot of people feel that the pipe organ and metal music are very different and that they don't really work together, but as anybody will hear tonight, it's an incredible synthesis of sound. It's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. Possibly the sign of more to come. Big powerhouse events here at York Minster. Best of luck.
Oh, the beautiful Minster. I bet it will sound amazing with those acoustics. Now on to the weather prospects. I think we might have saved the best till last. Katerina, I believe we have some sunshine on the way.
Yeah, it's going to be lovely next week. I think we're going to get a bit of taste of summer. It's going to be dry, it's going to be warm, plenty of sunshine right through until next Thursday. But today, has been quite cloudy. This was sent in about midday today. You can see the odd bright break here and there, but really plenty of cloud. And even the second photo was taken a little bit later on in the afternoon, towards the end of the afternoon. It was sent in to us. Photo number 2, here it is. And you can see there is just plenty. It was a beautiful picture, but lots of cloud. It really did stay overcast through much of the day. But as Amanda mentioned, there's going to be lovely weather on the way, especially next week. So we're going to get plenty of sunshine. And actually by Thursday, temperatures could lift up to 24 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a 25. So thank you as always for sending in your pictures. If you'd like your picture of the telly, you can head to the Weather Watchers website or head to social media. Details are on your screens now. So over the weekend, I'd say the better day is going to be Sunday. Sunday, there's going to be plenty of sunshine on the way, and it's going to be mostly dry. Saturday, a bit more cloud around, and there is a chance of a few showers. And I'll just show you what's going on. So high pressure is going to build as the weekend progresses, and it's really going to dominate for us as we head into next week, hence the settled conditions that are on the way, and it's about time. So as we head through this evening and overnight, we're going to start off dry, some clear spells at first, but by the end of the night a lot of cloud is going to start to build again. But as you can see, staying largely dry for us, and under those cloudy skies our temperatures will fall away to around 4 or 5 degrees, so a chilly start to Saturday morning. See you next high waters. We've got Scarborough at 3:43 tomorrow morning, and then Filey at 3:51. So it's going to be a cloudy start to Saturday. There will be just 1 or 2 isolated showers, and it's going to be a very similar story through the course of the afternoon. That clouds are really going to linger for many. I think the best of any brightness will be along the coast, but it's here where we'll get the chilliest conditions. The highs of only around 13 degrees, where you do have that exposure to that easterly or southeasterly breeze. But come further inland, temperatures will lift up to around 17 degrees. And then Sunday is really, we're going to start to feel the impacts of that high pressure. It looks to be a dry day, a much brighter day, lots of sunshine. And just take a look at those temperatures next week. By Wednesday, 24 degrees.
Wow, it's like being abroad.
What a treat.
Thank you very much, Katerina. Just don't forget that sun cream. That's it from us. Have a lovely weekend. We'll be back with your news and weather later on. Goodbye.